Shalom, Israel. This is Thursday, uh, Thanksgiving morning. I want to do a video on Thanksgiving, the origin of it. And lifetime Thanksgiving is when the pilgrims come together. They came together with the Indians, broke bread and feasted. And this is what they're using to continue this pagan holiday. Actually, it's a devilish holiday. But when I did a research on it, and I found out different. This is a real, it's a demonic holiday because they're not really telling you what really took place with the pilgrims and the natives actually sacrificing to devils is what you're really doing. That's all pagan holidays. But I'm gonna get into this, and there's some more surprises I'm gonna tell you as I get close to the end. And I'm gonna go into the Native Americans, show you that the tribe of Gad that came over here across the seas, and I'll show you that also. And I'm gonna get into the Wampanoag tribes, which were the first Indians when we're gonna go into that story, and then we're gonna go into some other things toward the end. I'm gonna show you how they built this up and made it into such a lie. Like they lied about a lot of things, like they lied about this guy. They lied about this. This is not Christ. That's Cedric Bogier. And they make up such a story to continue to celebrate devils, and goes on our time, they're medieval children Christmas. That's to keep the people worshiping to the devils of the Illuminati, or you can say the founding fathers, they were part of the Illuminati also. But let's get into it. Let's see who was in this country first. Here is all the Native American tribes. You see, they were all over this country. The pilgrims came, showing you that they were here first. They're called the Gadites, the tribe of Gad. They're Hebrews. And I'm going to go into Genesis 49:19 and read about the Gadites. Genesis 49:19. It says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Now, who is the troop? A troop was the cavalry. The United States Army, the cavalry is the troop that overcame Gad. And I want to let me show you, before they came over here, how they came over here. And that's going to be in 2nd Esdras in the Apocrypha. (1339). Now, this is going to be for you Israelites woke up or trying to understand that you are videos you because you're not going to understand what I'm saying. Understand that the American black people are also Israelites. We're Hebrew Israelites from the tribe of Judah, the same tribe Christ was from. Tribe. So he's actually our bloodline, the African American people here in America. So as I get into this, understand who you are. Don't just watch this and you got your Christian mind because you're gonna think I'm crazy. You know that I'm going into. Second Esdras 13:39. Second Esdras 13:39. Okay. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners. This is 721 BC, when the northern 10 tribes went into captivity. And during their captivity, they were brought from the Middle East. They was brought from over there, over the seas, over into the area over here. This is how, because before there was nobody in this country. There was nobody in the South Pacific. There was nobody in Canada, Jamaica, all them islands down there. It was desolate. There was no one there. And this is how people, after the Most High divided the lands after the flood, that people got over here. They were brought here. The northern 10 tribes were brought over. They were what today you can, the Medo-Persians. The Medes and the Persians back in those days, they brought them over here. But anyway, those are the 10 tribes which were out of their own, which was Israel, in the time of Hosea the king, whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, okay, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. So Assyria was the nation that brought them over here, okay, by King Shalmaneser. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. See, there was nobody here. Even in South America, there was just no people. Over time, as they brought slaves here, over time, South America, Central America, and all got actually populated. And they was here for, man, I say over 1,000 years, long before the Pilgrims came. This was 721 BC, around that time. And they might there keep their, which they never land. Now, when I'm at Gad, Gad wasn't the only one. Issachar also came, which was the Mexicans today. And there was all the northern 10 tribes. But Gad was here before they were in Mexico. The Seminoles, that's what they call them, Seminoles. There's a lot of other tribes that was here before they was pushed off by the Pilgrims. That they might keep their statutes, and they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by passage of the river, for the and showed and held till they were passed over. So if they was taking a trip here, that means the waters were calm. There was no hurricane, no rough waters or nothing like that. The Most High kept the waters calm, all right? For through there was a year, what took a year and a half from Assyria in that area to come all the way over here. It took a year and a half. So the Most High kept the seas calm. So nothing would happen to these Hebrews. And the same region is called Arzareth. That's the American area. That's how it dropped off. Now, over time, as they started multiplying and this tribe went this way, that tribe went that way, Gad got into worshiping Mother Earth. And the Most High was displeased with the northern 10 tribes. Let me put it that way. Gad. Pleased at what they eventually the Most sent nations over here. And it's going to be sad to hear what happened to these people. But we're going to get into it. This is how they got over here. Now, as if a troop would overtake them. That took years. Now I'm gonna go into the Native Americans. The Native Americans are the tribe of Gadites. The first reference of Plymouth Rock was 100 years after founding fathers came to the Americas, which means never landed on rock. Plymouth Rock wasn't even until 100 years later they got that saying that they landed on. As a matter of fact, this is what the rock looked like. This is the rock that they're talking about for those that have never seen it. That's Plymouth Rock. If they came on the beach, a huge rock there. There you can see how year that they, I think it was 1820, something like that. In 1614, Captain John Smith and his crew was rescued by Pocahontas. That name sound familiar? Remember the cartoon Pocahontas? At the Jamestown colony, Captain John Smith turned against Pocahontas and enslaved the Patuxet and Natick Indian tribe. Bound the explorer, smallest crew members, and the break at Cape. I'm gonna let me see if I can find this in scripture. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 to prove that. Deuteronomy 28, 22. Deuteronomy 28. The like thee with the consumption and with the fever and with the inflammation and with an extreme burn and with the sword and with blasting and with they shall pursue thee until thou perish. See, this in Deuteronomy reflects the history of the Gadites. So they both go hand in hand with the North American Indians because the blankets that they left behind have smallpox diseases in them. And a lot of these people that came with this Captain John, a lot of them caught diseases too. Come back to England. That's before the Pilgrim yet. Okay. and thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under shall be iron. Lord shall make the rain of thy dust that comes upon thee until thou be destroyed. The sea to be smitten means, and thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into the kingdoms of the earth. And thy shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. The Lord will smite thee with a botch of Egypt, and with the emirate, and with the scab, which thou canst not. That's that small. Okay, that this history goes. Okay, the pilgrims for Holland. Now we're getting into the pilgrims. It left England for Holland because of religious freedom in 1608. The pilgrims left Holland for the Americas in 1620 because of overpopulation, which was in Holland. They sailed the Speedwell and the Mayflower ships, but the Speedwell began to leak so bad they joined up with the Mayflower to continue on to the Americas. It took 2 months, waters, not land, Massachusetts at Cape Cod. Cape Cod already named Patuxet, which was the Indian tribe there, home of the Wampanoag tribe. When the pilgrims landed, they remained on the ship. Half the crew did not survive due to diseases from being on the ship for more than 65 days. After a few days, the Wampanoag tribe was observing the pilgrims and decided finally to help the pilgrims survive. This is where they saying the pilgrims and it came together. And this is Thanksgiving off of this event right here. The pilgrims survived. The Wampanoag has 6 festivals each year, which coincide with the Hebrew festivals of the Bible. Squanto, an Indian from Patuxet, traveled with the pilgrims. John Weymouth back to England where he learned English. Squantos was captured and sold to Spaniards as a slave. A priest helped Squantos get back to New England to find his village wiped out from the diseases from the pilgrims. March 22nd, 1621, there was a peace treaty made and the natives. Europeans got world more sail for the Americas. The Europeans called the natives savages. Now here they are landing in somebody else's land and calling these people savages already. As soon as they got there, and after the Native Americans helped them to survive, watching them for a couple of days, taught them to build houses, taught them how to plant food, everything they needed to survive. These people were so unclean, they didn't bathe. They showed them how to bathe. Everything. And this is what, as more Europeans came, this is how they felt about the Native American Indians. The natives over the years taught the crop. build homes. The pilgrims stayed drunk and never bathed. As the Europeans grew over the years, they started turning, and they had enough of them. They started to cause more. I guess it took some years, I would think, that more Europeans was coming, and over time, as they grew to where they had enough people there, they started to turn again. As the Europeans grew over the years, they started to turn against the Wampanoags. They formed brigade military around the Pilgrim villages. In 1637, the Wampanoag was having their corn festival, now known as Thanksgiving today. The next morning, the Indian village was surrounded. Now, this was after they had their feast, okay? The was surrounded by Dutch and English mercenaries, ordering the Indians to come out of their homes. Men, women, and children were slaughtered. You heard against these Indians? The problem. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna back up just where it went off at. The next morning, the Indian villages were surrounded by Dutch and English mercenaries, ordering the Indians to come out of their homes. Men, women, and children were slaughtered. They were burned, hung upside down, and infants slammed against walls and hung by their ankles. Now, the infants that slammed against the wall, these were babies that they took out of these women that were pregnant, took them right out of the womb. Now, that's some devilish mess like that. To just grab them babies out of the womb and slam them against the wall. Let me scripture. Let's go to. I think I read that 49. Deuteronomy 28 and 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, against as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. This is what came against Gad. A nation of fierce countenance shall not regard of the old nor favor. This goes right along with what they did to the children and slaughtered them babies and women while they were pregnant. So this is in scripture. Okay. So that history shows to be true. The next day, the Massachusetts Bay Colony declared the day of Thanksgiving, killing over 700 men, women, and children. They soon attacked village after village after village. Children under 14 years of age were sold, spreading Indian slaves abroad. Following a raid against the Prakow tribe, the churches announced a second day of Thanksgiving. So they feasted every time they took down a village. This was a feast. The celebration of Thanksgiving has nothing to do with the Indians helping the pilgrims or them to come together. The feast started when they took these villages down and they started killing these people. This is where the feast started with the pilgrims. For the second day of celebrating victory over the heathen savages, see? because they would call it the Indians. So every time they took down a village, they kept feasting. During this feast, the cut off, they cut off heads was kicked around the streets like soccer balls. After they beheaded the men and the young men, they would kick their heads around their villages like soccer balls, giving birth to the game called football today. Now I think here in this country they call it soccer. The chief of the tribe head was put on a pole in Plymouth for 24 years. George Washington declared a feast of Thanksgiving only once a year. So George Washington, see, he was right along with it, and they want to celebrate President's Day all the time every year. See, give allegiance to this flag and the evilness behind that flag. But George Washington, he was with the slaughter, but the feast to him was unnecessary. So he brought it down to once a year. See, Abraham Lincoln made Thanksgiving a legal holiday during the Civil War. So he was in on it too. See, so Abraham Lincoln cared less about freeing of black slaves. He did that because it's the Illuminati made him. He just happened to be president. He can care less about any of the Hebrews. Lincoln made it illegal once a year. He also heard tribes in Minnesota. See, but yet we have with the President's Day every year to celebrate these Illuminati members, Masons, is what they are. The turkey is the symbol of the pagan god Amun and Ra. The men and children that were slaughtered. That's what the turkey represents. Okay. The stuffing represents the infant children torn from the pregnant native mother's womb that the pilgrims murdered, tortured, and killed. So when you see the stuffing inside of a turkey, that represents the infant when they pull that baby out along for it. So that's why the stuffing, it looks like, I want to say messing, but it was so messy, they pulling the child out the womb. And they took that child and banged it against the wall. Now that's evil. This is what you're celebrating. And when you feast on that food, this is what all this mess with. Thanksgiving has nothing with scriptures at all. Anybody outside of Hebrews, they could go on and celebrate this mess. That's why the pilgrims made it for them. Esau made it for them and for us to celebrate it. Now, if you coming into learning that you are a Hebrew Israelite, you got to stop this mess, because these were our people. And this is what you celebrating. The Bible says you sacrifice the devil. 1 Corinthians 20. 1 Corinthians show you what you sacrifice to. 1 Corinthians 20. But I say that the things which the Gentiles, the pilgrims were Gentiles. What the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to God. And I would not that you should have fellowship with After all that they Indians, this is the feast they have once a year. You sacrifice it to devils. Every time you do that Thanksgiving dinner at your table, I'm talking to you Hebrews. Now, if you consider yourself just a Gentile, then this don't apply to you. Understanding that you a Hebrew Israelite and you come to statutes and commandments, have to stop. But when you go to your families and they feast on that Thanksgiving dinner, this is what they're feasting on. It has nothing to do with the Indians and the pilgrims sitting down. Each item on that table represents a slaughter. That's how brilliant these Illuminati devils are. And they make it something okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But behind the sheets, it's all the Bible says. You fellowship with devils. You sacrifice to devils. That's what you're doing. So you say your prayer, you think you're praying to God, and you're not. Okay? Let's keep going. So, represents the bloodshed of the Native American men, women, and infants and children slaughtered by the pilgrims. That's the cranberry sauce. This is sick, man. Thanksgiving celebrated today is a cover up of the genocide and slaughter of millions of Native Americans in order to steal and destroy their nation and land. And that's exactly how they got this country. And they sit there and want you to say an allegiance to that flag is evil. I don't care what you say. The way they got this country, took over this country, calling it theirs, and everything they do is a sacrifice to devils. And if you go against it, then Esau of this country look at you as though something wrong with you. That's why they make all the holidays to children. So if you go against the holiday, you go against children. Ain't that something? Let's go into another scripture. Amos 5:21. Let's see what the Most High think about this. Amos 5. Amos 5:21. Let's see what the Most High think about this. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell solemn assemblies. So while you cooking that turkey, the Most High don't even smell your cooking. He cannot stand it. He hates, despise your feast days. That's what the Most High think about. 22. Though you offer me burnt offerings, that's when you cooking or barbecuing, whatever, offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs. That's the choir when you at church and having that church and you think you, for I would have melody of thy vows. You see, the Most High is not even hearing your melody. So you can, fa la 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 all you want to. He's not hearing it. But let judgment run down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. Have ye offered unto me sacrifice in the wilderness 40 years, O house of Israel? See, he's still talking to Israel. Any nation outside of the Hebrew Israelite, he can care less about. That's what Esau to have to force other nations to do their sins. We are not supposed to do it. Now, we were put on slavery, and when we came out of slavery during the Jim Crow era, we were forced. We had no choice. And a lot of times, a lot of us didn't even know because so much time passed, we didn't know who we are. Just like today, we're walking around thinking that we're African American, and we're not. We are not African American. You know, there's two white slave owners. That's what they named us after. But we so dumb and stupid, we don't know how to read. We don't know how to figure that out. So but we're coming back, and we're coming back strong. The Israelites, I mean, we're especially the young generation, we're coming back, man. Like it's hard for me to explain because I'm older, but I wish I can get some of the older generation to understand and wake up. Also, have ye up no, but ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch and Chidam your images, the star. That's that 6-pointed star they call the Star of David. David never had a star. The star of your God, which ye made to yourself. Who has the 6-pointed star? They sit right over in Israel. They call themselves Jewish. That's who have that star on their flag. I'm reading it now. The Most High can't stand it. That has nothing to do with the Most High at all. See if I can find another scripture. Oh, 55 and 20. Psalms 50 to show you how slick Esau is. Psalms 55 and 20. And this is how the Gadites got caught up. He had put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. Remember I said, those came after the psalm and they went out, made peace with him, started showing them things, welcomed them with open arms, such as be at peace with him. He has broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. And that's usually how he's smoother than butter. Got some garbage going on. Folks go back to Africa. Ghana, was it Ghana? One of them countries over there, Uganda, I think it's Ghana, that we can come back to Africa and live like they apologize for bringing us here. Now, that's what you call smooth and butter. If they did the Indians like that, don't you think it's something up all allowing us to go back to Africa after all? The words of smoother than butter was in his heart. His words were soil, yet were they drawn swords. This is what happened to Gad when they made all of them deals and all them covenants. I think it was 300 something covenants. And they turned around after they killed them, broke every covenant with the Pilgrims. This is what you celebrating. This is the Thanksgiving. This is the part that they won't tell. They only go so far as when the Pilgrims and the Indians, when the Indians only, that's the only pop at. Against it, Esau gets upset. These white folks in the country will get real upset if you bring out this truth about that Thanksgiving and Christmas. I think that's most of the scriptures. Yeah. And by the way, Argus, this land being called Argus means hidden land. When they came BC, the of the Indians, the Native Americans is what you celebrate later today. Remember what it represents. The table represents something evil or slaughter of those people. And that's it, pulling the children out of a mother's womb. I mean, like the Bible said, they have no regard for the young, old, or the children. They just didn't care less. And most white folks would say, well, it happened a long time ago. We didn't do it. But you reaping the benefits of what they've done. You see, so the Most High also, we're not going to be punished for what our ancestors did as Hebrews back during the Roman days and before then, when we wouldn't listen to our God. He punished us, spread us out. All these hundreds and hundreds of years, we're still being punished according to Deuteronomy. Now we just starting to wake up. Now you think that Esau, after all the evilness that they done to all of Israel, happened to you? And I think white people are always telling us to get over it. It was so long ago. I don't think the Most High works like that. And Esau, the children of Esau, the white people today, especially in America, are weeping the benefit of the evilness that they've done. And they look at these parades getting ready to get started. African and Mexicans, hair race, and she black of the ace of spade, and got us looking ridiculous. And we are so into it. You know, once you learn and wake up to this truth, man, it's really hard to look at that stuff now. We can only try and talk to some Christians and try to wake them up. But man, we're so deep into it. It's just a job. I think. I mean, I'm not going to stop trying. The other camps are not going to stop trying. So after all that, in 1974, check this out. 1974, November 28th, the Redskins were 8-3 and ready to secure a playoff berth with a win against the Dallas Cowboys 6-5 in the nationally televised game in Dallas. With less than 10 minutes to go in the third quarter, Washington was leading 16-3 when the Redskins linebacker Dave Ellison knocked Rodgers in. Ricky Clinton Boys to a come from behind victory, throwing a 50-yard touchdown pass to Pearson to 28 seconds left. The final score was Cowboys 24, Redskins 23. Now you ask, why did I read that? What did this have to do with Thanksgiving? In the 60s, the first Thanksgiving was, I think, it was the Cowboys and Detroit. They were the first two teams to start playing on Thanksgiving. And I think 1975, I think they may have missed one Thanksgiving game, but they always kept them two playing. It grew, people liked it, but to show you how evil this Illuminati is, the people that's running this country. Eventually, they started having two games on Thanksgiving. And I think in the 90s or the late 80s, you started seeing a team down against the Washington Redskins. Now think about that for a minute. Who do the Cowboys represent? They represent the white race. Who do the Redskins represent? That's right. You see? And in the mid-90s, if I'm not mistaken, they made it to where the Cowboys and the Indians play on a slaughtered called Thanksgiving. That's if you don't quite understand the story that I just read of the North American Indians, you're not going to understand that. But every year, even today, Cowboys play the Redskins, the Pilgrims, and the North American Indians. It's just hidden. It's hidden in football, and you can't see it. And this is what they do. They hide things. Let me get this scripture. I think it's in Revelation 18:4. Listen to this. Showing you how they hide in Thanksgiving through football. Revelation 18. This is what the Most wants us to do. Heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not her plagues." You see, you got to wake up. Just like that movie, It Lives. You got to wake up and understand, man. You're not going to wake up until you find out who you are. Once you understand who you are and you are a Hebrew and this book is yours, you look at things different. Things start opening up and you see things different, and you can see these hidden messages that Hollywood put out, like the movie It Lives. Robert Popper had these glasses on, he can see signs as they really are. You take the glasses off, then he see a different. It's the same way with waking up and understanding that you are a Hebrew Israelite. So you can see through this mess. Here they have a football game every year now. Every year It's the Cowboys and the Redskins, and that's what it represents. The slaughter in them, and they always winning. Always bank on that. They do whatever they can to get them Cowboys to win. Now I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, and that's why I got this shirt on, because I want you to understand that, so you can see that they got the Cowboys and the Indians. That game is based off of this slaughter when they just slaughtered the North American Indians. What happens after Thanksgiving? What's the next day? It's called Black Friday. Why are they calling it? Now, the average, we're not going to look into it. And there's these sales going on. You can't read behind that hidden message. Let me show you something. What does this say? I'm going to show you where they got the Black Friday from. What that say right there? Negroes for sale, okay? Negroes for sale. What is a Negro? White folks will tell you that they're ham. They want to call us ham. Here's the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, and I'm going to read ham to you, so you'll know who the Negroes are, and that for sale sign, you'll know who they were. Son of Noah, about before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood, progenitor of the dark races. That's where white people stop and say all dark people are Hamites. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negro, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. You see, Negroes are not Hamites. We are not Africans. See, so this Negroes for sale is right here at the bottom. Right there at the bottom. If you can see it. Not the Negroes. So when they sold us, they basically sold the African Americans that's in America today. Negroes for sale. This was the auction. This was the auction block. This was the auction block that we had to stand on, our people. Okay, which were Judites. We're from the tribe of Judah. We had to stand on that block. That, I don't know if that block still exists, but that's it right there also. Right there on the corner. And they would have on that corner a bunch of people who were surrounded. And they would have Negroes right there for. Here it is again. This is a different sale, but this is another sale, Negroes for sale, okay? I'm sure you're familiar with that picture, right? Now, what does that have to do with Friday? Listen to me and listen good. Have you heard of this word? And I'm sure you have. The word is called motherfucker. You ever did a research on where that word came from? America, when they had slaves, didn't have enough to sell to other nations like Europe, because Europe was buying slaves from America also. So they wanted to like how you double the herd, as you would say, like they do chickens. They dope them up to make them grow fast and reproduce. What they was trying to do was they made the young man, they put a cap over his head, and they would make the young male have sex with his mother to show you how dumb these slave masters were. They didn't have enough sense to think that their child might come out deformed, which it did. Okay? The young man had no idea who he was having sex with, but the mother did. And she was forced. And it was trying to have babies, as many as they could. So we were treated just like cattle. We were treated like animals. Okay. Eventually,